What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Amtrak's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the masterpiece Trainbot Suiken. Let's just leave it at that. I feel like it might have a so to speak to go along with it. Anyway, this is on loan to me from John P, who's been very gracious and allowed me to kind of hold on to all of them as they release. In case you can't tell, I'm feeling a little under the weather today, but I have washed my hands, and he's letting me hold on to these until they're all out. So hopefully whatever got a hold of me will be long gone by then. But goodness gracious, does it have a hold on me. Anyway, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started, but in order to start, we're going to start with accessories. Comes with a set of train tracks, par for the course, the gray plastic, and then the metal rods that go through. This has more of a gravelly base. They've all been a little different, I think, in that regard. These holes here are for the flight stand adapter, which it doesn't include because they're cheap. And that's about all I have to report. In order to utilize it, I haven't tried this yet, but I'm guessing this doesn't work great. None of them have. I say that and then I land. Did I nail it? No, of course I didn't, because it doesn't work properly. I'm sure that with, what does the Penguin say in Batman Returns? A lot of tape and a little patience, or a little tape and a lot of patience, you can get this to work. I have neither at the moment, and I have not been successful with any of the four upon their releases, so I don't expect for this to be any different. Just not the best setup here, I'm afraid. While we're on the topic of stands and such, this is a flight stand adapter. This plugs into the bottom of the train. You have a hole there, peg there, and then two clips around. And then this will go on another piece from another figure. They don't include that because why would they? It's not like you paid good money for this one, you know what I mean? Got to buy them all. Pokemon of masterpieces. But anyway, that's how that works. You can use the flight stand adapter in the back of his rear end as well. He comes with a gun. It folds up like this, you know, and the little notch from the handle goes into the barrel, and then of course extends, and you can fire away. No paint, decent enough sculpt, nothing really exciting to say about it. It will store underneath by just pegging into these two pegs, and he can hold his weapon with a tab in the palm of his hand and then just wrap the fingers around. And then he also comes with the combiner gun, which is not really to be meant to be used with him. And it does split into three pieces. No paint, unfortunately, but decent enough sculpt, honestly. I think it actually looks pretty good. Now, that can be stored inside half of the train. You just open up these two pieces here, and then these fold up and slide on these rails for the two large pieces, you know, and then you just sort of bring your handle down and connect them. And then with this all opened up, which you'll see in the transformation, the barrel plugs into one side as well on a little tab that sits inside of it. And then as kind of previously shown, that just sits on top. Now he can actually hold the combined mode weapon as well, with a handle that comes out of the barrel. And he could hold the second one as well by that handle. So there's a lot of options there in terms of how to get that to work. Totally up to you. And of course the combined mode can hold it just fine. And now we'll move on to the train. So on my glass here, it rolls just fine. Not so much on the track. Not as much kind of sculpted details for like real life textures and such, which I feel like the others have done a pretty good job of. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm confusing it with the Moon Studios, but I'm guessing that's still true to form because they've been pretty accurate with the models of these. What sculpt is there looks great. The translucent plastic is on there. I'm not crazy about that. I wish it would have been kind of painted so that you don't see all the guts inside, but I know people feel differently, and that's okay. The orange paint is over top of the green, which is not easy to do and looks sharp and clean, so I don't have any complaints about that either. I've been pretty consistent that I've really liked their trains overall, and there it is next to Tiger Tracks, so long old unit. So to move on to transformation, you have to break away this whole section here. We'll sit that to the side. And then as for this one, this piece flips up and over. I don't know why that doesn't seem. And then you can separate that little section there, which will allow you to get a hold of these side pieces here. Flip that down and then collapse them against the side. One more. Flip it attach it against the side, and then separate the legs. All right, open these gray sections. Get these wheels just out of the way. Extend the whole leg and straighten out the best you can. This black piece at the bottom of the leg is on a slider. Rotate that down. And then angle this tab into there the best you can. And then this piece you can flip in. The wheels you can bring back down. And then the toes, just flip the toe out. Flip this piece up. And then this back piece rotates in. And we're going to do that times 2. So open up. Remove the wheels out of the way. Extend. Slide down on the slider, bring this back and line up. With that gray piece, it's a little tricky to see. I'm struggling with it. Let's see. I have to get it off camera. Close down that piece. Fold in that piece. Bring the foot down. Toe down. This gray piece comes up. You don't have to worry about the black piece on this one. And then bring that up. And that's both. Untab these sections, these green, the last green flaps there, and sort of just do what you got to do to get them up and out of the way. Take these flank pieces, they'll slide down on both sides, and then you can split all this, and the arms they come down and over and sit next to the bottom. It's the dude. What's going on? Same on this side. There you go. Rotate out. And then we just got to deal with the kibble. Then take your panel pieces to the back. Rotate or swing the black pieces up, and then the green pieces up, and then this comes down, and then this sits over top, and then that piece just sits there kind of awkwardly. Oh, while we're here, we can open up the hand too. All right, same for this side. Swing it to the back. Black pieces in, green pieces in, green piece down, gray piece down. We'll go ahead and fix the hand while we're here. And what else? Slide these chest pieces out. I might have to do that on my own. I can't get a hold of them. Oh, maybe those sit down a little lower. Yeah, these two pieces slide outwards, and then the head slides forward, and that's it. So then you're left with this piece. Open up this and this. Separate these two panels. Try not to break it in the way. Then remove that barrel. Open this up. Bring this whole section out. And then this has to come back, and there is a little tab there that will go into the barrel of that weapon. And sort of stabilize it. And this piece you can fold in this little black section there. And then you take these wheels. They slide right here at this base pin. Up. Swing them over. And then down. Up. Swing them over. And then down. And then they collapse up top. This spins out. That all sits there. And I think that's it. And now you have his backpack done. The backpack utilizes that peg and the same kind of hole that we use for the flight stand for the train. And sits in there. I hate this. I hate the way that this looks. So I am probably not going to use it much for anything other than to have it on there for maybe one picture. But I hate it. This gun here, you could take this out and tab it on sideways so it can kind of go over his shoulder. You could tab it into, I think, on his forearm I've seen pictures of. There's a number of different places you can tab it in. It's too much. For the sake of review, I'm going to leave the backpack off. We have silver paint on the face along with the blue translucent piece sitting over top of the silver that does look good. Silver wings as well. All of that works nicely. The head is on a ball peg. You get limited up, limited down, and the swivel. Not really any bit of a tilt, maybe the slightest bit of a tilt. For the shoulders, you have a universal joint that gets you, I'd say out 90 degrees. I say that's fair. And then 360 around at the base joint. And then there's even a butterfly joint as well. So that's actually fairly clever stuff. We have a bicep swivel. We have a, I thought it was double hinged. It looks like it should be. No, single hinged elbow, but gets you a greater than 90 degree bend. Interesting. Not what I would have expected. No paint on the arms either. Then for the torso, we have the silver paint with the red Autobot symbol painted on. That works well enough. You have a waist swivel. You have an ab crunch, which is interesting because you also have a one-way teapot. Let's see. All right, let's back out, look at the whole figure. We have, I guess you could count this as an extra articulation joint too. The shoulders are kind of wonky in general. All of these hip skirts that will get up and out of your way. The butt one only goes back to there. For universals joints for hips, they get you the full Van Damme, but they get you forward and back to there, which is more than you'll ever need. Thigh swivel. Nice paint accents on the side hips there. Knees are single hinged. The knees have all this has a tendency to kind of come apart too while you're manipulating it. It is nice to get the side bit of paint on there, but other than that, kind of a wash. You get an ankle tilt down, a toe tilt up, and a limited rocker. And then there it is from the back. You know, it is certainly, none of these have been, but this one perhaps even more so, not the most elegant figure in the world. Size comparison wise, I'm not really sure what you'd like to see him with, but there he is with an under $200 aerial bot and an MMC Streetwise, you know, some other contemporary combiner limbs to give you an idea of how he measures up. Slide the chest pieces in if you haven't already done so. Slide the head back. Open up these side pieces here. Pull this whole assembly out. Spin it 180. Head goes in, hand comes out. All right, we're going to put the hand away now. Let's see if I can't bring that camera. My tripod is on its last legs, I'm afraid. Tuck the hand in. Oh, there's a wrist swivel and the fingers are on a base pin knuckle. I don't think I mentioned that during the figure review. Tuck that in. Rotate the elbow inwards. You can flip this up. Flip all this up. And now the arm needs to sit behind this green panel here. And that piece can swing out. And it's very intuitive. It happens very naturally. There's a number of moving pieces, but it's almost, it's almost like it wants to go. Same here. maneuver inside, and then we're going to situate all this. Actually, we can bring down, I think we can bring down these black pieces too. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'll just move them back. And we're going to flip that to the other side. Oh, now I said all that. I said all that. And then did it wrong. Like it goes so naturally. You know what I mean? Just so bloody naturally. There we go. Right? Let's see. There. And the problem is that the shoulder joint is a little tight. So you end up swinging pieces of this assembly when you mean to just be swinging the shoulder. All right, so now we're just gonna tab in our forearms and interlock these pieces, and then we're gonna bring this down and forward. Make sure you sit these flank pieces. And then that just sits up against the sides like that. And then these pieces just swing down. But they're supposed to be there, like that. Just bring out these pieces that we tucked inside the legs. And let's see here. You got to bring out these, the back doors here, so to speak. And then I think you tuck these back in too. And then connect all that. Oh man. Oh no, that might be right. Although I do feel like this is there. They're supposed to come down. Okay. And then you just fold at the knee. And then the connection points are right here at the knee, which I'm not super crazy about, but they didn't really ask my opinion. There. Sheesh. All right. Which still leaves this piece, right? So this front piece comes up and over, and then you can extend these. This comes up. As it does, that piece flips in. Come on. There, just so that I can get around it. And then these pieces tab back in on both sides. And then you take this, I think. And this sits down in here somehow, some way. Maybe it's here? No. I don't know. It sits down in here to some degree. Actually, this extends, I believe, too. But this plugs into the foot. We'll address all that when we combine it. And there's arm mode. So, the hand swivels. You know, the fingers are individually articulated. You don't have a bicep swivel, you have a forearm swivel. That's not the same thing. This piece will move out of the way to allow for the elbow, which is pretty clever. I don't know, proportionately it seems a little small to me, but it doesn't seem necessarily wrong in the same breath. I don't know. Time will tell, but there it is. Final thoughts wise, as far as the train mode goes, the only thing that I have is that they should have included the flight stand piece that connects the adapter to the train tracks. Just seems cheap to exclude it, per usual. As for the robot, I hate the backpack. It's unsightly. It's obnoxious. It gets in the way. It's not user-friendly. A couple things aren't user-friendly. The shoulders are not user-friendly. They have a tendency to kind of come undone, not in the sense of transformation, just in the sense of where they're supposed to sit. Different moving joints that are there for the engineering of the transformation end up getting utilized because the other joints are too stiff. so the natural flow of it is to move the wrong joint. While we're on the topic of stuff like that, the legs are something else to examine. They don't stay stuck in any meaningful way and have a tendency to come undone as you're manipulating them, and that's due to poorly designed tabs and slots. Articulation-wise, you're limited on head movement and ankle movement. The ankles are the more meaningful limitation there. And I'm not really sold on the proportions of the combined mode arm, nor am I sold on the lack of bicep swivel. But time will tell on that, so we'll hold off. As for the positives, I mean, I don't know, man. The paint is clean where it is painted. The engineering is clever, if not always successful. The sculpt work is good. Plastics feel good. And the kind of engineering intuitiveness of the transformation from train to arm mode, it kind of stays consistent. I don't have any issues with that as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a mess. This figure's a mess. I don't have a whole lot of optimism towards the combine mode, but they make a hell of a train set. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.